Good day, thanks for watching. This is my presentation about psychological contract, with its general definition and special definition, and each definition has two subtitles, which is specific objects and psychological expectation of general definition, and transactional psychological contract and the relational psychological contract of special definition and with five of its characteristics, and finally some application of in real business field. The human resource strategy of the enterprise has changed in the process with the development of modern technology and globalization. On the enterprise, they no longer hires employees just to finish a mission or expects them to get specific results. Employees use their own skills and talents to achieve the goals instead of just following order and work on a mission list. So, based on this background, Dennis Russo, an organizational scholar, proposed a virtual contract called psychological contract. So this definition represents the personal views, perceptions, and informal obligations between an employer and employee. Well, the United States scientist Shine has proposed a much more clear definition about psychological contract, that a kind of cooperation between the individual's purpose of contribution and the company's desire to obtain and response to the individual's desired harvest. So the psychological contract is not a real writing contract, so it's a situation. The company tries to meet the needs and wishes of every employee, while the employees they work hard to get the company's goals and development. Psychological contract was divided into general definition and specific definition in the 1980s. The general definition of the psychological contract is the embodiment of one party expects the others to pay and pay for the other party. Well, the specific definition is the subjective perception and understanding of each other's obligations based on the personal feelings and promises. And the specific definition, it has two subtitles, which is transactional psychological contract and the relational psychological contract. The transactional psychological contract it focuses on more on the external elements of the contract without carrying much more internal qualities of the workers. These are much common in those companies with authoritative management styles and strict control. In the labor industry in Asia, there's a common slang term called China Eastern Airlines. It's also known as China Dedicated Airlines, because the managers they only think about how to make their employees to contribute, which means to do more, but never think about how to pay them. So based on this point, the China Eastern Airlines they are practicing the transactional psychological contract. Well, for the relational psychological contract, it's focusing on interdependence of the organizations and level of social exchange. These psychological contracts tend to be used in long term in nature, so the employee's loyalty to the company is often based on this. The first one and the second one are subjectivity and implicit. It means that the psychological contract can be regarded as a kind of subjective feeling, and there's no real contract for the psychological contract, but only in psychological expectations in the two parties to each other. A third one is responsibility. Psychological contract is a kind of mutual commitment and expectation that is not expressly stipulated. So if any of the party, employee or employer, they do not maintain a strong obligation of their responsibility, the other side or both sides will feel a really dissatisfied situation on this, and the balance situation will be broken. The fourth one is bidirectionally. So this situation is built from the trust between each other, from employee to employer, and also from employer back to employee. So this is the facing way. So yeah, and The fifth one is dynamic. The psychological contract is keep changing. There's no confirmed expectation, and the constraint that it changes with different external conditions and personal expectations. So the application of psychological contract in the enterprise, it is the EAR circle. The stage E means establishing. In this stage, the psychological contract starts from here, and during the recruitment of the company and employees, they understand each other. After the recruitment, the company began to train and teach the employees to help them to establish reasonable expectations and direction, and inform them of their work goals. The second one is stage A, which means adjusting. The employees in this stage, both sides adjust their goals, and the company adjusts their expectations during their actual practices. Finally, and the third stage is the stage R, realization. The realization of the mental contract is not fixed, and the companies should keep an eye of the extent to which employees' reasonable expectations have come true, meet their needs of self-worth and summarize and feedback. In stage A, adjusting, there will be some risks and challenges to company. Because the negative feeling of employees may cause them to have negative emotions towards the company, especially in the adjusting stage. The employees' own abilities have improved, and they realize their job and missions. And the company's disadvantages had also been discovered during the actual practices, which may cause the dissatisfaction of the employee. The company has also found the employee's weakness, and is also an unbalanced state. The original balance has been broken. And this will lead to low efficiency of the staff, and their goals cannot be correspond to the needs of the company, and the company cannot achieve its own performance. The manager tend to blame this situation on negligence of the human resource department, which causes a bad relationship between HR and operation manager within the company. Besides, with the development of the internet, people can share their opinions easily, which will also cause some employees to publish their feelings about the company on the internet and affect the company's image. And the company's public relations department will face great pressure. So there are four possible solutions to facing this challenge. Firstly, the companies should provide effective incentives in a timely manner, such as job changes and salary increases. This is the opportunity to adjust employee expectation according to change their external conditions. The company must make employees aware of their promotion channels in time to avoid the illusion of I'm just repeat one thing every day. And the second one is if the expectations of employees cannot match the expectation of the company will waste a lot of time and operating resources. If it is corrected late, it will also affect the motivation of the employees. The companies should always understand the status of their employees on the premises of respecting their privacy, and ensure that their expectation can match the company to save the company's resources. Third one, if the issue becomes very dangerous, and they can ask for government agencies or society NGOs to solve them.
5 years ago, on May 19th of 2015, Cathay Pacific Airlines in Hong Kong, their flight attendants they went on strike and sit for 41 hours at the Hong Kong International Airport departure hall to protest the managers they give high pressure to their employees. Finally, this incident was resolved with the intervention of the Hong Kong government Department of Labor. Number 4, so if the company are facing major changes and reorganizations or social events that seriously affect its own business, causing a deep psychological impact on employees, the managers should comforting their employees and beware of any kinds of simple cut policy. In February 2020, and due to the continuous impact of the COVID-19, Hainan Airlines suddenly asked their cabin crew to take a no-salary vacation and keep delaying the previous salary. So this action causes strong dissatisfaction among their cabin crew. Nearly 30% of the employees choose to leave their jobs immediately. This action also causes Hainan Airlines to continue lose more than 20 million of Chinese RMB. So finally, this is my presentation. Thanks for watching.